Today we're going to take a look at the DEWALT cordless mower 2 years later. How's it held up? Was it worth the investment? And would I buy another one again today? In a minute we're going to flip it over, take a look up close at the damage I've done to it, how well it's held up over the last 2 years, 3 summers of mowing, give you a few of my thoughts on it. First off, let's get it out of the way. I've loved this thing from day one. It's not for everybody. I have said that. We used this for 2 summers, mowing 7 to 10 lawns a day, depending on the time of year and how many contracts I had. It worked. We would have to swap out toward the end of the day with a couple of different DEWALT batteries, but for the most part, with 2 people doing the lawns together, we could do 6 or 7 toward the end with the dual 10 amp hour batteries. Let's get that in there nice and close so you can see that brick. I love these batteries. I use them on a lot of things. They've been my go-to on my cordless grinder for quite some time as well, but they've held up. Runtime, I didn't see a dramatic decrease over the last couple of years. Overall, right from day one and now into 2 years later, my biggest fault with it is it doesn't like wet, thick grass, and it doesn't pick up debris very well. That's the downside. It has a bag, and it bags well if you are the type that mows your lawn once a week and you keep it decently short. It picks it up really good. You got to make sure you stop and empty it regularly, but it just doesn't pick up debris. It doesn't create that upward suction as well. So that leads to the question, do they make a different blade for it? Because this is a 21-inch proprietary blade made by DEWALT. Now, the thing is, they're thin, and part of that is because, I think, so they can get a longer runtime out of these batteries. When you're driving a blade with a battery, the lighter, the better it's going to be. Now, I haven't beat it up or broken it or bent it. I'm on the original blade, but people ask, why didn't you switch to a mulching blade? Well, I probably should have. There is one online from Home Depot made by DEWALT for around $33. The problem is the reviews aren't that great. Do you need to have 2 batteries in this in order to run it? Yeah, you do. And it helps to have matching batteries. I've done non-matching batteries and it didn't work as well. Here's the thing. If you put a fully charged battery in and a half charged battery, you're only going to get half a runtime out of it. You need 2 batteries in there even for it to start up, and they should have relatively matched charge levels and capacity level. Next, can you run flex volt batteries on them? Yes, you can, but for whatever reason, I discovered that these 10 amp hour batteries give you the sweet spot of the most power with the best runtime. I wasn't really concerned so much about runtime as I was about power, but what I noticed when I switched to flex volts, they were 5 amp hour and 6 amp hour flex volts. They would get bogged down in thick grass a lot quicker than with these batteries on it. So what about all the bad reviews on this thing online? Well, here's the deal. First off, when somebody's pissed off at a product, they're the ones that are going to want to give reviews. This is a good product for what it is. But there was a problem with these at one time where, man, it seemed like 5 to 10% of them that came out were defective, to the point where people would run them for 10 or 15 minutes and they would die, have to send them in for warranty. That's what caused a huge influx in negative reviews. If it lasts more than a day, then you're good. At least that's the way it seems online. So you have the push mower, Tim. What about the self-propelled mower? Well, here's the thing. Out of the box, brand new batteries, you're going to get 75 minutes of runtime with the push mower. You're going to get about 60 minutes runtime with the comparable walk-behind self-propelled mower. I love the handle design. If you can see it, it comes up here, makes kind of a U or a J shape, and then back down. I am 6'2", every bit 6'2", and this is the first mower I've ever owned that I didn't feel like I was the Hunchback of Notre Dame pushing it. Now, that's great for people who are 6'2", not so great for people who are 5'2". I've had quite a few people who have commented on the video. I bought this hoping it would be good for me. I'm on the vertically challenged side, and it's really hard for me to push. Something that I kind of designed based around these mowers. I've been full into the DEWALT ecosystem for a while. I have the 4-port rapid charger, and I set up a 200-watt solar panel system on my garage with 4 Group 27 battery bank and an inverter. And for the last almost 3 summers, 100% of all of my DEWALT batteries have been charged with solar. So in the long run, who is this for? This is not for somebody who lives on an acreage that has to mow acre or 2 at a time. This is not for somebody who only mows their lawn twice a summer and waits until it's, knee high to an elephant before they go out to mow. This is for somebody who has a suburban lot, half acre or less. Quite quite a bit less probably, but for people with a suburban lot that mow it on a weekly basis, this works perfect for that. For us, for those years that we did, you know, between 7 and 10 lawns in a day, this was great for that because we did it on a weekly basis, whether it really needed it or not. I ran some low-end kind of $250 Toro gas mowers for a long time, and I would get 2 summers out of them if I were lucky. The extra vibration from the gas mowers really beat the crap out of the bodies of those things. This, not at all. So what are my issues? Well, early on, this foam that's up here, that tore a little bit up on the handlebar. There was that. One of them gave me a little bit of grief. This push, so you have to pull in the bar, push in the yellow button right there. One of them, the yellow button, was just kind of, you had to put your finger right in the right spot. It wasn't broken, it just didn't make a connection as good as the other one. Probably my biggest pet peeve on this thing has been these yellow buttons right here, or the yellow adjustable knobs for the handle. What I found was that over time you would keep cranking them down, and eventually the plastic wanted to strip a little bit. That was probably the weak point, is where the 2 handles come together. It keeps wanting to flex, and at one time, I think in the back of the truck, one of the handles bent a little bit, so they've never really tightened down again the way I wanted them to. That's probably the downside. I would have loved to have seen these knobs at least have more metal on them, but again, 3 years it's held up really well. Never once have I used the side discharge, and I don't when I'm mowing for people. The bag has held up really well. It's not ideal for collecting. It would be nice if it was up on just a little more of an angle, but once you get the hang of it, it pulls on and off really easy. But the plastic side discharge and the rear discharge have held up perfectly. The thing I thought that would be the problem would be this, because the see-through cap on the batteries seems a little brittle. Sounds brittle, but it's been good ever since. The wheels have held up well. The adjustments have held up well. I've intentionally not cleaned it for, you know, I would clean it once at the end of each year. That was it. The metal body is really, really sturdy and durable. The first little bit of rust is starting to come on the top. Wire connector right here that runs from the handle down to the electric motor. Especially at first, it wants to get pinched when you fold the handles down. That was a bit of a pain. Not the end of the world. The blade is still in surprisingly good shape. That's neither here nor there. But the big thing is the paint didn't come off it like a lot of the normal mowers. I mean, this is 3 full seasons in, heavy duty mowing, grass caked on it all the time, getting washed once or twice a summer, and then put away. Never once did I put an extra coat of paint on the underside or anything, and the paint has held up fairly well. The biggest complaint that I hear from a lot of people is, I'm not gonna buy battery because it's not gonna last. Well, maybe here's the thing. Some of this battery stuff doesn't have to be built quite as durable because it's not handling the heat, it's not handling the petroleum, and it's not handling the vibration that these gas-powered machines do. Here's the proof is in the pudding. These were rode hard, put away wet for 2 full summers, plus this year, which it hasn't been ran quite as hard, and it's held up way better than my old Toro gas mowers. Again, it's not for everybody. It's not for all the professionals out there, but it is for the homeowners who are already on the DEWALT battery ecosystem and you have a suburban lot. For that, this is great. Just the fact that you get those 2 10 amp hour batteries included for the $549 price tag. Also, the price hasn't gone up a penny in 2 years. And with inflation the way it is, this is a much better deal today than it was 2 years ago. So I hope you enjoyed this final look at this mower. So if you're still here at the end of this video, that means I made this video for you. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, stick around, get more content just like this. And if you're going down the rabbit hole and you want to know more about this mower, you want to see what it looked like brand new out of the box, check this video up right here. One I did 2 years ago when I opened it up, did an unboxing, and give you my original thoughts. See if my original thoughts were on the money. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.